The resurrection is the crowning event in God's redemptive history. The resurrection is the cornerstone of Christianity. It is the foundation of the gospel. It is the guarantee of heaven.
And the Muslims believe that Isa alayhi salatu wasalam did not die, nor was he crucified. He is not dead, nor was he crucified. They did not kill him, nor did they crucify him. But it was made confusing for them. So what was confusing? They crucified someone else who looked like Jesus.
Hey guys, today we're going to find the biblical and Quranic truth about the crucifixion. Did Jesus, Yeshua, Isa, die on the cross? Or was he alive? Let's look at some of the things Jesus said before the crucifixion. Luke chapter 9 verse 22, when referring to Jesus, says, saying, the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected of the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be slain and raised the third day. Mark chapter 8 verse 31, when referring to Jesus, says, and he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and of the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again. Matthew chapter 16 verse 21. From that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem, and suffer many things of the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and be raised again on the third day. Now let's look at some verses about what happened during Jesus' death. John chapter 19 verses 28 to 30. After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar, and put it upon a hyssop, and put it to his mouth. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished, and he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Luke chapter 23 verses 44 to 46. And it was about the 6th hour, and there was a darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And when Jesus had cried out with a loud voice, he said, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit. And having said thus, he gave up the ghost. Mark chapter 15, 33 to 37. And when the 6th hour was come, there was a darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And some of them that stood by, when they heard it, said, Behold, he calleth Elias. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave him to drink, saying, Let alone, let us see whether Elias will come to take him down. And Jesus cried out with a loud voice, and gave up the ghost. Matthew 27, 45 to 50. Now from the 6th hour there was a darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, This man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran, and took a sponge, and filled it with vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave it to him to drink. The rest said, Let it be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. In these verses before the crucifixion, Jesus stated about how he will be delivered to people to be killed and rise in 3 days. So in all 4 of these Gospels, Jesus makes a statement right before he appears to die. And in 2 out of the 4 of these Gospels, his statement is, my God, why have you forsaken me? So he's wondering why God is letting this happen to him. And this is quite interesting, so let's look at another verse in the Bible as to see why maybe he's wondering why God is forsaken him. Matthew chapter 26 verses 36 to 45. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter, and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little farther, and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. And he cometh unto his disciples, and findeth them asleep. And he saith unto them, Peter, what, could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them, and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus was afraid. He was afraid because he knew that when he is captured, he will be killed. So he prayed to his God, not once, not twice, but 3 times, to take it away from him. Because he submitted his will to God, he was still willing to proceed with his mission, even though he knew what his fate was going to be. So when Jesus was being crucified and he yelled out to God, Why have you forsaken me? It makes sense knowing that he prayed previously 3 times for God to take it away from him. And here he was, still in pain, being crucified. Then interestingly, a few moments after that, he appeared to pass away. So now the Jews and Romans thought they had killed Jesus, but did they kill him? Or did God finally answer his prayer? Now let's look at what the Quran says about Jesus. In the name of God, the Almighty, the Merciful. Quran chapter 3, verse 55. For God said, O Jesus, I will terminate your life, and raise you to me, and cleanse you of those who have rejected, and make those who have followed you above those who have rejected until the day of resurrection. Then to me is your return, all of you. So I will judge between you in what it was that you disputed. Quran chapter 4, verse 157 to 158. And they're saying, We have killed the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, messenger of God. And they had not killed him, nor crucified him, but it appeared to them as if they had. And those who dispute are in doubt regarding him. They have no knowledge except to follow conjecture. They did not kill him for a certainty. Instead, God had raised him to himself, and God is noble, wise. When referring to Jesus, it says in Quran 1930 to 1934, he said, I am a servant of God. He has given me the book and made me a prophet. And he has made me blessed wherever I am, and he has charged me with the contact prayer and purification as long as I am alive, and to be dutiful to my mother, and he has not made me a mischievous tyrant. And peace be upon me the day I was born, and the day I die, and the day I am resurrected alive. So to summarize, in the Bible, Jesus told the disciples before the crucifixion he would be captured and killed. Jesus prayed 3 times to God for what was to come to be taken away from him unless it is what God wills. Jesus during the crucifixion, according to 2 out of the 4 Gospels, cried out asking God, Why have you forsaken me? Moments after asking God why he has been forsaken, he appeared to be dead. Either Jesus died not long after, calling out to God by coincidence, or God answered Jesus' earlier prayer, taking the suffering away from him. In the Quran, the people, the Jews and the Romans witnessing the crucifixion, said they had killed Jesus the Messiah, but the Quran states it only appeared to them that they had, and says instead God raised Jesus to being back with him, not specifying if Jesus was raised during the crucifixion, after he had appeared to be dead, or later when Jesus would have been taken to the tomb. God says in future tense to Jesus that he will take his life and raise Jesus back to him and cleanse him of those who have rejected. Jesus says, "Peace be upon me the day I was born, the day I die, and the day I am resurrected alive." Some translations translate resurrected as raised. Either way, it could lead to the same meaning. The conclusion. In the Bible it states Jesus either thought or knew he would suffer and be killed when captured. He desperately prayed for it not to happen. Later, when it did, he cried out thinking God was forsaking him. Then his pain ended. They thought Jesus was dead, that they had killed him, which aligns with the Quran stating they thought they had, but it only appeared that way. God states in the Quran that he ended the life of Jesus, not the Jews and the Romans, and raised Jesus back to him, which could align with the Bible saying Jesus came back to life after 3 days, and then after appearing to his disciples went back to be with God. So depending upon the interpretation, the Bible and Quran could both be true and be in harmony rather than conflicting with each other. The Quran states not that Jesus was never taken to be crucified, only that he was not crucified, death by crucifixion, that God took his life. Also, the Quran nowhere states Jesus was swapped for someone who looked like him. I hope that's at least gave everyone something to reflect upon. Thanks for watching. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, and please subscribe and like the video.